Alright guys, so in the last video we went ahead and set up our application, the movies component, and implemented Bootstrap. So now what we want to do is start to create our service so that we can pull the data from our API. So let's go into our app folder and create a folder called services. And we're going to create a new file here. Let's call it movies, or we'll call it movie.service.ts. Okay, we're just going to do our standard imports. We need injectable so that we can inject it as a dependency, and that's going to be from Angular/core. Alright, now we're going to do something a little different here. We're going to use the HTTP module, but we're going to use JSON-P. Okay, JSON-P is JSON with padding, and this is used to bypass cross-domain policies in web browsers. All right, so to do that, we need to import. We're going to say import JSON-P from Angular/HTTP. Okay, so same package. And then we want reactive extensions. So we're going to say import rxjs/rx. All right, let's add our injectable decorator. Okay, then we're going to create our class called movie service. Okay, and let's see. For properties, we're going to have our API key as a property. Okay, and that's going to be a string. All right, and then let's have a constructor. And here we're going to set the API. So we'll say this API key equals, and then you're going to want to go to your MovieDB account and grab your API key. Copy that, and let's put that right there. All right, and then we'll just do console.log, and let's just say movie service initialized, and we'll save it. All right, so now let's go to, let's see, our main app component TS file. And we're going to want to import this. So services/movie.service. And then we need to add that as a provider. Okay, we'll save that. Now let's go to our movie component TS file, and we're also going to bring it in here. Okay, now that's going to be from ../services/movie.service. All right, and then we need to inject that as a dependency, so we need a constructor, and in here we're going to pass private underscore movie service and set that to movie service. All right, and let's save that, and then in our application let's open up the console, and you can see movie service initialized. Now, in order to use JSON-P, we have to actually bring in the providers in our main app component. So up here, we're going to import JSON-P underscore providers, and that's going to be from the HTTP module. And then we're just going to add that down here. Okay, we'll go ahead and save that. And then what we'll do is go to our service, and we're going to have a function called getPopular. All right. And in here, we want to return this dot. Actually, we need to bring in JSON-P into the constructor. So private, we'll call this underscore JSON-P and set it to JSON-P. All right, so then we'll say this dot underscore JSON-P dot get. You can see it works just like the HTTP module. So get, and then we need to place our URL. So if we go over here and let's copy this and paste that in. Okay, now we want to keep the API key right here. We also want to keep this core URL right here, but we don't want to go /movie. We actually want to say /discover/movie, and we need to add a callback here, okay, because we're dealing with JSON-P. So let's go take this 550 out, and then right here we're going to say callback equals JSON-P underscore callback, and then put an ampersand. All right, so I also want to set the sort by. So we're going to say sort underscore by. Let's see, we want to sort by popularity, which is like relevance. So sort by popularity, and let's say dot descending, and then just put another ampersand. All right, and that should do it as far as the endpoint. All right, now let's go to the end here, go on the next line, and we're going to say dot map. Okay, this is an observable, and then we'll do res to res.json. Okay, so hopefully that works. All right, so now what we want to do is save and go back to the movie component, and inside the constructor we're going to want to use the movie service. So this dot underscore movie service dot get popular, and it's an observable. We want to subscribe to it, and then in here we'll say res, and then for now let's just console.log. Okay, we want a console.log res.results. So let's try that, save it. All right, so down here, let's see what this says. Get popular is not a function. Let's see, service, get popular. Oh, I did not save it. Okay. All right, so down here you can see we have this array of objects. We look at one of these. It has an ID. It has an original title, Independence Day, an overview, popularity, has genre IDs. Okay, so we're fetching movies now. We're fetching the most popular movies from our API. So now that we know that we're doing that, instead of just logging it, let's go back to our movie component. Instead of logging it, we're going to set a property. Okay, we're going to say this dot popular list equals res.results. All right, we have to add this as a property, so let's go up here and we'll say popular list, and that's going to be an array of objects. All right, so we'll save that, and now let's go into our movies component HTML, and I'm going to delete all of these except one. Okay, and keep that last div. All right, so now what we want to do is let's go into this div right here, and we want to add an ng4. Okay, because remember we have an array of movies, so we want to loop through those. So ng4, and then we'll say let movie of movies. Okay, no, not of movies, popular list. Okay, so now we should have access to each movie. So in here, let's put movie dot, what is it? I think it's title. Okay, and then for, let's see. Actually, you know what I want to do is change this to an H4. So we'll have that, and then I just want to have the release date underneath. So let's get rid of this, keep the paragraph, and we'll say movie dot release underscore date. All right, and then for the button, we'll just leave that for now. So let's save this and go back, and now you can see that it's fetching all the movies. So I want to get the image as well, but not all of them have images, so we actually have to check for it first. So let's go right above the H4, and we're going to put in an image tag, and let's do star ng if, and we're going to say if movie dot poster poster path, and let's add a class here of thumbnail, and then a source, and for the source we're going to put HTTP, and then it's tmdb dot org, and then we want to go /t/w500 / and then we want to put in movie dot poster underscore path. Okay, that should get us the image. So let's go ahead and save it. And no, it didn't. Let's see, something wrong with the path. Oh, it's actually image.tmdb. Alright, so we'll save that. And that didn't work either. Okay. image.tmdb.org /t/ oh, it's t/p. Like that. There we go. Okay, so now we're getting the images, and obviously they're way too big. So what we want to do is go to our CSS, our style CSS file, and I'm just going to put an image for all image tags. We're going to set a width of 100% of its container. So if we save that, now you can see we're getting the images, and they're set to a good width. Now if we look at the amount that we're getting back, I do want to change that. So we have, what, 6 in each row. So let's say we want 12. Alright, so what we can do is go in here, and let's go under the ng4, and we're going to put a div here, and we're going to say star ng if, and let's say if I is less than 12, and then we'll close that div over here. Alright, and let's save that. And oh, you know what we need to do is go up into the ng4, and let's see right here. What can we do? We can say, we can put a semicolon here, I believe, and then say we'll say let I equals index. Save that. Alright, there we go. So now we're getting 12. Actually, you know what? Let's do one row. So we'll say 6 for popular. All right, good. And I think I want to put a panel around this, a bootstrap panel. So let's go to Get Bootstrap, Components, and let's see, Panels. And I want the panel with the heading, so this right here. Let's grab that, copy it. And let's see, we'll just paste that in right here. For the panel title, let's say Popular Movies. And then we're going to grab this whole thing and cut it. And put that right in the content. Alright, let's see what that looks like. Okay, so now we have a panel around that. Now I also want to get movies that are in theaters. So we can put that underneath. So let's go back to our service. And let's go ahead and copy this. And then we'll change this to Get in Theaters. And the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to specify a date range in the URL here. Alright, because there's not actually an endpoint for movies that are in theaters. So we're going to go right after the callback, right here. And let's put an ampersand, and then let's say primary, primary underscore release underscore date dot LTE equals, and then we want to put a date here. Let's say 2016 dash, and we'll say 06, so June, let's say 20th. Okay, so 2016 6/20, and then we'll say and primary release date. Actually, you know what? This one is going to be GT, so it's going to be greater than this date, and then this one will be dot LTE, so less than, and then we'll set that one to 2016, and let's put today's date, so we'll say 08-02. Alright, I think that'll work. So yeah, let's do that. So we'll save it. Let's go to our component, movies component, and we're gonna just copy this right here, paste that in, and change this to Get in Theaters, and then let's set theaters list, and we'll set that up here as well. Okay, save that, go to our HTML, and we're going to copy this whole panel. Let's indent that. Just want to fix this up a little bit. Alright, so we'll copy this, and let's go down, paste that in, and we'll say in theaters. And then we just want to change this right here, popular list, to theaters list. And we'll save that. Okay, so now down here we have movies that are in theaters. All right, because they were released within that date range. Now, obviously, you probably wouldn't want to do that on a production app because you need to keep changing it. But I just want to give you an example of the types of queries that we can do with these movies. Alright, so that's going to do it for this video. In the next one, we're going to start to implement a search where we can search for movies from the API.